Hi guys, welcome to another movie crew review. Today we'll be reviewing A Real Pain.
The movie stars Jesse Eisenberg, Kieran Culkin, and Jennifer Grey.
So this film follows two estranged cousins as they meet up on a tour of Poland after their grandmother passed away. They try to discover the land that she's come from and find the history of the Jewish people. So we're going to get into the review today, and Moon is going to start us off.
Yeah. So my thoughts are exactly what the plot is. Basically, they are on a tour and with a tour guide, and I was feeling the same when I go on a tour with a tour guide. I'm like, oh, this is nice. Yeah, can we? Okay, now can we just go home? So yeah, in bits like yeah, I was a bit bored, and in bits I thought the movie was good. I think when they had to basically go to like grandmother's house, and when they separated from the tour, the movie actually was a bit better than before. So I think if they did something else instead of the tour thing, maybe I don't know, whatever. I think the movie could have been better. Still, the positive, I think, Kieran Culkin, like I don't remember like seeing in other movies. So he was really good. Like he got the chops and like emotional scenes, funny. And Jesse Eisenberg, I think he plays the same role. I've never seen him doing something else. So, like first when I saw him Social Network, he was, I was like, yeah, this dude is good. But ever since, it's just the same thing. Yeah. John?
Yeah, I I think that being the main character, the writer and the director for Jesse Eisenberg is a really good role for him. The writing was really well done, and I enjoyed the actual things that were happening in the film. And I know that it's a difficult task to be one of those roles, but to fill all three, I think he's done a tremendous job. So I think, yes, like Moon said, pretty much he is that like one trick pony. He always has that awkwardness, weirdness, and anxious and outsider way that he is. I think he's always going to come across that way. So I think comparing that to Kieran Culkin, he's pretty much playing Roman Roy if he didn't have money in this film. That's my opinion of it. I think that the writing for him, it just really bounces off well and it feels really natural. You kind of get this sense that he's a bit bipolar. He's going along, he's the best person to know, he's the life of the group, and then all of a sudden it just changes on a head and just he has to go through what he needs to go through, say what he needs to say. It needs to be out there. He just kind of says it unfiltered. So for me, Kieran Culkin was a standout and was just fantastic in this role. I just really, really enjoyed it. It had drama, it had comedy. You've got a couple of other people. The setting of the tour was interesting. It's something a bit different because you're not having a set of circumstances drive the plot along. You're kind of just going with the flow, and the characters, mainly Jesse Eisenberg and Kieran Culkin, the two cousins, they're mainly driving the story and setting your information. So I found that enjoyable. Jennifer Grey plays a lady named Marsha, and you've got these retired couple and somebody who's come from Africa who's gone through a genocide that's converted to Judaism. So it's nice to see a hodgepodge of people on this tour and the ways that you see it. But you also get some nice scenery of Poland when you go through the two scapes that we go to throughout the film. So you have the more Russian kind of Soviet side of Poland, and then you have the beauty of its former self. So it was quite nice. And at the end, you do go to a Holocaust camp as such. So I myself have been to one, and it's quite eerie when you go to places like that. And I think the way that they've set the music and tried to capture it, they've done a really nice job in getting that sense of eeriness and showing the true tragedy of things that happened. And on that point, I think the music for this film was quite nice. It's a lot of just piano playing and more rhythm stuff, not lyrical. So it suits the kind of film that we're trying to tell. So I think that for all cases, I think this film is fantastic and a really good watch, both on the comedy side and the drama side. So yeah, Cameron.
Yeah, I'm a bit on the same page as Moon. I felt it was a bit boring at times because you are just following a tour guide for a majority of the movie. But like John said, they had the dynamic in the group, so everyone sort of brought a different piece to the story. But it just, I don't know, it just I wasn't invested heavily until maybe near the end. I thought for me the standout was Jesse Eisenberg because just the two emotional scenes he has, one at the dinner table and then one at the rooftop when he's just pouring out emotion, that I just really connected with me, and I really just they just stuck with me, those scenes. I thought he did them really well, but Kieran Culkin did a great job as well. Sort of like John described it, being that bipolar, so happy and then so schizo and just very argumentative and just doing stuff erratically, was just the way he performed it was great. But yeah, the story is a bit of a drag. It's not a long movie, but it felt a bit longer than what it was. But yeah, I think it's an okay story, but it did harp on the eeriness that John said well, and I think that's a pretty good thing to take out of this movie.
Yeah, I see. For me, when Jesse Eisenberg was emotional, it didn't. I didn't get much from it, if that makes sense. Like he still came across as like the kind of robot
No, I did
that
like
he
those
is.
scenes that Cameron mentioned, but I'm just a bit of, Jesse has me. It's the same. So yeah,
Yeah, I haven't watched a lot with him, so I think that's probably why.
Yeah.
you're probably better off.
Yeah, but if you like watch something like say like the Hummingbird Project and then the Social Network, they're pretty
Yeah,
much just the same
same character.
person in a
Yeah,
different circumstance. And that's where me being a fan of Kieran Culkin and watching him like throughout the years in succession and seeing him in his other projects that he's done, for me, in my opinion, I think that he's done a really nice job in this role and getting some emotion into it. And I thought that for me, out of all the characters, he was like the standout. Even though he's like a supporting character, to me, he was like a main character when I watched it. And I thought, yeah, he did a really good job. Especially like you see when he's at the statue and everybody's posing with the guns and
Yeah.
things like that. And then like next scene, they're on the train and he's like, that's it, he's lost it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I have a actual question like about the plot of the movie. Like we get to know what happened with Karen Culkin, yeah, like at the later end, like what happened 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would you logically go to such place? Like emotionally, logically, why would you take your cousin to that journey?
I mean,
Like,
to be close to his grandmother.
no, I'm saying
Ah,
before that, the tour guide, obviously they knew where they're gonna go. Why would you take someone to that? Like, even like he'll be more, effed in the head. Like,
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but everyone's different in it, so they probably think it's gonna have a positive effect rather than a negative effect. But I get what you're saying. You'd
yeah.
rather be protective, but that's probably why Jesse Eisenberg's character is taking him on this trip, because they're gonna spend time together. They're
yeah,
probably
that I
gonna,
understand. But I'm
yeah,
saying, like, we went to the Holocaust thing and concentration camps.
yeah,
So yeah, why would you like take someone there if you are already in such a dark place?
yeah,
Yeah, but I don't know if it's more like, see, like when you're on a tour, you don't have to do those things. You don't have to go with the tour for those things. He may have wanted to see it, but at the same time, if he wanted to connect with his grandmother and he saw
yeah,
that as the way to connect with his grandmother, seeing the pain that she went through,
Yeah,
like that Marsha when she said, her mum, like when she's going through a divorce and things like that, why would she want to put herself through,
yeah,
similar pain of loss? But it's one of those things that when you're talking about connecting, it comes in like those weird places that you just can't pick, if that makes sense.
yeah,
And he kept saying throughout the film, he kept saying, like, why do you keep taking us to these touristy places and touristy things? Why aren't we
yeah,
connecting with the real place? And I feel
yeah,
like that was a real place that they went to, if that makes sense.
yeah. Oh,
All right, going to give our scores.
yep.
Moon, how many stones out of 10?
I give 5.5 stones out of 10.
John?
I'm going to give it 8.5 stones out of 10.
Yeah, I'll give it 5 stones out of 10. All right, guys, make sure to like, subscribe, check out our socials, and we'll catch you on the next one. Ciao.